The world would never forget. In the shimmering blue of the tank, something moved, a trainer, a whale, a bond that looked unshakable, until, in one terrible instant, it broke. In the wild, orcas are sovereign. They roam endless oceans, carving paths through open water with power and grace. They live in lifelong pods, families bound by loyalty and song. Together they hunt, travel, and raise their young. They are not killers by nature. They are guardians of the sea, born to be free. Captivity shatters that world. The vast becomes a cage. The songs fade into silence. A calf is torn from her mother, screaming into the waves, only to be dropped into a concrete pool where walls echo her cries back at her. The routines, the crowds, the blaring music, none of it replaces what was stolen. Even the strongest spirit can fracture when the ocean is stripped away. That is where Luna's story began, not in the wild, but in a tank. Her life in confinement was a slow unraveling. What looked like a smile to the crowds was, in truth, a wound, one that deepened every day. Sam Collins had loved the ocean since he was a boy. At 34, he'd spent over a decade working with Luna, a wild-caught orca. He'd raised her since she was a calf, fed her by hand, and taught her every trick. They swam together daily, her sleek black and white body gliding beside his, her eyes fixed on him as if he held the secrets of the sea. To Sam, Luna wasn't just an animal, she was family. But Luna wasn't born in a tank. She'd been ripped from the icy waters of the North Atlantic as a baby, screaming for her mother as nets pulled her away. Sam never spoke of that. He focused on the bond they built, the way Luna bumped his palm for fish, the way she leapt on command, and the way she seemed to trust him. The crowd didn't know her past. They called her the smiling whale, clapping as she flipped and splashed. But lately, Luna had changed. At night, she slammed her head against the concrete walls. She refused meals. Her silence in the water was deafening, a stark reminder that orcas are meant to live wild, in tight family pods, not in isolation. Sam would find her floating listlessly, staring at the concrete sky. He'd whisper, "It's okay, girl," and she'd nuzzle his hand, a flicker of the old Luna. Then came May 7th. It was a bright and glorious afternoon at Ocean View Marine Park, where the air buzzed with excitement as families and friends filled the grandstands, laughter and applause echoing like music. Sam Collins, the park's renowned orca trainer, stood at the center of the arena, his heart swelling with pride as he waved to the audience. For a decade, he had forged an extraordinary bond with Luna, the magnificent black and white killer whale that had become the star of the show. To everyone around them, they were not just a trainer and a performer. They were best friends, united in an unbreakable partnership. The show started with Luna jumping high out of the water. The crowd cheered loudly as the big whale splashed back down. Sam smiled at the audience, thinking everything was going as smoothly as he had planned. But Luna hadn't been acting normal. She swam too fast and didn't always listen to Sam's signals. Her eyes looked different, wilder, like she wasn't really seeing him anymore. When she came up close, Sam could feel her body shaking with nervous energy. The happy show music kept playing, but Sam felt something was off. Luna was moving strangely, splashing harder than she needed to. She kept looking past Sam, like she wanted to be somewhere else. The tricks they'd done together 100 times before now seemed to confuse her. If this already has you on edge, make sure you're subscribed, because what's coming next is even darker. Sam tried to stay calm, but he and the whole crowd felt something strange in Luna's behavior. This wasn't the Luna he knew. Something was off. Luna was behaving aggressively today. As the finale approached, Sam took a deep breath and plunged into the chilly water of the tank, feeling the sharp contrast against his warm skin. The water enveloped him, and as he surfaced, Luna approached with a speed that set alarm bells ringing in his mind. She glided closer, alarmingly close, her enormous body brushing against him in an intimate dance that felt troubled with tension. He attempted to signal her to pull back, but she ignored his gestures, her piercing gaze locked onto him, leaving him with a sinking feeling of dread. Suddenly, Luna's mouth opened. Rows of sharp teeth flashed. She bit down hard on Sam's leg. Blood exploded into the water. The audience was tense in this dead silence. They couldn't comprehend what was really going on. Screams ripped through the air. Sam fought. He punched. He kicked. Luna dragged him deeper, shaking him like a toy. The tank turned red. The crowd was traumatized to see the blood. Trainers immediately threw ropes amid chaos and blew whistles. But Luna wouldn't let go. Her tail wiggled, shaking the water into a foamy nightmare. If you're still here through the chaos, hit like and subscribe, because the truth behind this attack will change how you see orcas forever. Parents covered their children's eyes while they looked worried and disturbed. A few children screamed in shock as they witnessed the horror that unfolded. Sam's hand broke the surface once and then vanished. Rescue divers jumped in. Sadly, they were too late. When they pulled Sam out, his body was limp. Blood soaked his wetsuit. It was an absolute terror that the audience witnessed on that day. Luna circled the tank, her fin slicing the water like a blade. The park closed that night. News channels showed the story everywhere with headlines like "Orca attack, wild animals unpredictable." Reporters interviewed experts who explained, orcas are wild animals. They cannot be tamed by morning. Everyone was talking about what had happened. The news kept showing the same clip. The dark water, the splashing, then silence and blood. But the truth was even darker than anyone could have anticipated. Luna hadn't made a mistake. She hadn't accidentally hurt him in a moment of chaotic excitement. No, she consciously chose to attack. After years of performing under the glaring lights, executing trick after trick for the enthusiastic crowds, a hidden instinct within her snapped back to the surface. The ocean's most cunning predator instinctively remembered her true nature: a killer. The memorial service was held at the edge of the tank where Sam had taken his final breath. Soft pastel flowers drifted on the water's surface, their petals trembling with each ripple, a fragile tribute to a life cut short. The park, once alive with shrieks of laughter and thunderous applause, now stood in eerie silence. The empty stands, the still waters, the abandoned stage, all bore witness to a joy that would never return. The gates were locked forever. And Luna? She was condemned to a lonely existence in a dim concrete pool, hidden away from the crowds that had once cheered her name. The vibrant music, the flashing lights, the cries of wonder, all replaced by a crushing, endless quiet. No more jumps, no more tricks, no more hands reaching out to touch the glass in awe. Sam's tragedy wasn't about a killer whale, it was about a wild soul pushed too far. Luna didn't hate him. She was just a ghost of the ocean, screaming for a home she'd never see again. Let's respect wild animals. They deserve to live free, as they were meant to. Tributes poured in for Sam, who had dedicated his life to working with these magnificent creatures. He lost his life doing what he loved most, connecting with the ocean's most intelligent animal, the orca, Luna. Friends and colleagues remembered Sam's passion and how he always said the orcas were misunderstood. Yet life remains unpredictable even for experienced trainers. Should orcas be kept in captivity, or do they only belong in the wild? What do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, we'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.